What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys are on a fantastic day today, and today we have our second mold comparison. Sorry, this is the third. This is of the Gemini Jet 787, the most recent one, and the NG Models Boeing 787-9 variant molds. So I hope you guys are excited for this mold comparison. We have a lot to dive into today. Two very good molds in my opinion. One is better. I'm sure you guys can guess which one, in my opinion, that is. But both of them I think are very solid, and I know it's a very popular one. I know a lot of you guys are heavy enthusiasts, so yeah, for sure we're gonna dive into this. I hope you guys are excited, and we will begin. Okay, so if you guys have not seen this series before, pretty much we just take a deep dive analysis, into molds that companies have. I also wanted to state that I've made a little change to the rubric. Here is the rubric, the new one. The only thing I did was I combined quality control with details, but every category is worth 10 points, and then we add them all up through 50, and then we give it a percentage rating of how good we think it is. So anyways, these two molds are pretty good. Like I said, I do prefer one, but nevertheless we will dive in. So the models that we'll be using for this is the 2020 American Airlines 787-9 by Gemini Jets and the NG Models 2020 United Airlines 787-9. So in the Evo blue, of course. So anyways, here we go. We'll begin with the nose, of course. So here they are. If you guys can tell, I definitely think that the NG Models has a little better precise shaping opposed to the Gemini Jet. I feel like the slope is a little better as it comes down a little faster rather than the Gemini Jets, which does take a little bit longer to get going, if you guys know what I'm trying to say. I also the angle of the Gemini Jets is also a little more shallow compared to the NG models, so I do really like that about them. I do think that both are very acceptable and pretty gosh dang good. So I decided to give the Gemini Jets a 7.5 because it is a pretty dramatic difference, and then the NG models a 10 because I do feel like it's a really nice precise cut on the shape. Next up, we're on to the landing gear. So here's the United landing gear. I really like with all NG models, including the 787-9, of course, how fluidly they roll. It's just really nice. Here, let me just demonstrate a little bit. They really roll nicely. They do an awesome job, nice and fluid. No problems whatsoever with that. So I really like what the Gemini Jets, or sorry, NG models provides there. However, the Gemini Jets, the nose wheel in the 787s tend to be pretty decent, but obviously not the best rolling wise. But it's mainly the main landing gear that are just so tight they can't roll. I also really like how the NG one, if I can get a little better view of this. So as you can tell on the NG models, it just has a much more precise shaping opposed to the Gemini Jets. And then it feels like it's all cluttered up here on the Gemini Jets with the titles especially. However, on the NG one, it really is nice and visible, clear, however you'd like to word that. It just looks really nice. And then as well on the landing gear, I just feel like the NG Models one just has a very nice shaping cut on the main landing gear, especially is what I'm getting at right here. Sorry about the focus. Trying to get in range, there we go. Looking really good. However, with the Gemini Jets version, it just looks a little clunky, if you guys know what I'm trying to say. This is a 10 trend with mainly the A3 Airbuses, really, the A320s family, but even the A330s a little bit. But I do really think that they're pretty good overall, just not the most fluid rolling. Especially these two, like, I don't know if you can tell, but they're just like kind of stuck type deal. If you roll with them a little bit, they get going, but overall I just thought the next generation did a slightly better job on that aspect. So I gave the NG models on the landing gear a 10 and then the Gemini Jets a 9. I still think they're good, not as dramatic of a difference opposed to the nose, but I do think that they're pretty solid. Now as for the wing and engines, there are some significant differences here. The main thing is the Gemini Jets wings flex more so like they're in flight. I'm sure you guys have seen that with the 787 molds. And then also the main other thing that I really noticed is that the Pythons, I believe, make some, or it's kind of quality control and Pythons. The Pythons seem maybe a little stretched out to where the engines sit more on the ground, but to get a better evaluation of this, we will have to adjust the camera, so let's do that. So as you can tell, there's a pretty decent flex right there, which is not present with the NG one, and then also you can kind of see how the engines are very low to the ground. I'll flip it around and show you guys on the opposition side right here. A very similar thing, especially for the engines. But if I bring in the NG, I'll give you guys the full comparison in a minute with just side by side looking at them. As you can tell, there's a really nice flush cut between the engines and the ground. On top of that, as you can tell with the wings, they are in a really nice spot right there. Not flexed, but they're in their ground configuration, which I would have to think that's what we're going for on these models, and I do really prefer this. NG did a very nice job. And then vice versa for the other side. The engines on the NG haven't really had no QC issues tilting down or anything. And then here's that look again, looking really nice. Okay, so here's the illusion that I'm trying to demonstrate. They may look the same height-wise, but as you can tell, there is a very dramatic curve with the Gemini Jet 77-9 mold compared to NG when it's just nice, robust, and flat, which is how it is in the ground. This would be really nice for the air, but these are not in-flight models. Like, for example, if it was like on a stand and something by Skymarks, I would understand that. But as of for this, I just really think that what we have right here with the next generation just works better. So as of for these two, the Gemini Jet's got a 7.5. Obviously, the Pythons and the wings were the main thing there. The NG got a 10. Okay, I can't lie, this new camera or setup just makes this look so crisp. But anyways, now one place that I really like both molds by a lot is the tail and horizontal stabilizer area. I thought that both have a really nice precise cut here on the tails. They also both have really nice detail, horizontal stabilizers included, can't forget about those. Really look good, good amount of detail. The NG one I think has maybe slightly more. Just a little more flush cuts, and then the gray portion on that horizontal stabilizer in the beginning of it. But overall, both are just really nice and just absolutely beautiful overall, as you can tell. Both did receive a 10 from me. I did not have any complaining to do. These are both really nice. APUs also look very nice as well. You may notice a little height difference. That is because of the landing gear. The NG one I think is a little bit taller just by a bit, but I think that it's not very significant whatsoever. As you can tell, it's like just a touch. I don't think it's because the tail's higher. I believe it is the height, because as you can tell, the fuselage is a little taller than the Gemini Jets. Now, which one's correct? That's a little hard to tell, but if you heavy enthusiasts know, let me know in the comments. Okay, so for the final category on this, we have the quality control now and also the details. Both are really good QC-wise for the most part. I thought the NGI obviously had a horizontal stabilizer, and I've seen a couple of those. I've never seen a detached wing from the two-piece mold, which is one difference as well. The NG models has the two-piece mold, and then the Gemini Jets is a one-piece mold. But I think that both have really good quality control. The horizontal stabilizers for me came out, but I think it just happens here and there. For the most part, both are really good. Then as for the details, the Gemini Jets heavies seem to be a little more lackluster on detail just in general. Just from looking at these NG models with the precise cuts and everything, all the underneath detail, as you can tell right here. I know there's not a ton on this one particularly, but just overall. Now down here, as you can tell, there's quite a bit of really nice details. And then on the nose cone as well. Hard to see with that, with the light fuselage, but as you can tell, really nice job. Not mean to hit it, rest in peace. The Gemini Jets, it does do well, but I don't think that it does as well. It's kind of hard to tell with this American silver, but or gray, however you like to word that, just a little more lackluster throughout. And then just all the markings and everything just seem much more precise on the NG models version. I think both that are very good, but nevertheless, ultimately, I do think that the NG one does have better detail overall. But both get very good scores. The NG models gets a 9.5 just because of here and there horizontal stabilizers, not detail related. And then the QC details category for the American gets 8.5, mainly just because of the little bit of lacking on detail. But both look really nice. And then also the precise markings with the Wi-Fi boxes, the antennas, and everything like that. And also just wing detail in general and all that sort of thing, excuse me. So that brings us to the conclusion. Which one is better score-wise? The NG models, I mean, it is one of the best molds on the market. I know I say that with the 737, 757, A330s, but I mean, I'm truly being serious. You're not gonna find much better than next generation molds. Maybe with the Panda ones on the A320s, but I mean, honestly, you can't really contest NG models' awesome molds. I really don't know what more to say than they are beyond good. So overall, with those categories, the nose got a 10, landing gear got a 10, the wings and engines got a 10, the tail and horizontal stabilizers got a 10, and then the QC details got a 9.5. That brings it out to a 99% when 45.5 or 49.5 divided by 50 is 99. I mean, it is a superior mold, man. It really can't be much better. I have not found any flaws with it. If there is any, please let me know in the comment section. And if I forgot something major, I really apologize. But I mean, just from looking at it, it looks like a Boeing 787-9. Meanwhile, on the Gemini side of things, I do think it's a solid mold. I know some people do complain about it being a one piece, and that goes with all their heavies, and some people just don't like Gemini Jets heavies in general. I do understand that. I know that I'm very particular with color, and everybody has their thing of what they're very particular about. One thing also notice, I forgot to mention it, but the Gemini jets does have the, most of their new 787s do have the tint on the windows. The NG does not, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that or what's going on. Now, I know that a lot of people just don't love the Gemini wide bodies. I respect that, I understand, but I do think overall it's not a horrible product. I do think you get what you pay for. Is definitely, I think the wide bodies are the same price, similar though. I think Gemini is 43 as of right now, and then NG is 40, or is it 50 now? I think it may be around 50. I forgot. I don't buy too many NG wide bodies, but nevertheless, I do think both are really nice. The Gemini jets with 7.5 nose, 9 landing gear, 7.5 wing and engines, 10 horizontal stabilizer tail horizontal stabilizer, and the 8.5 quality control details. That brings it out to 85%. I do think that's about a solid B. I definitely don't think it's average like their A320 molds and even their 737s. However, I do think that it's a very solid mold overall, and it's really not bad. I do think that it's really nice for the most part. The thing that bugs me the most is that wing flex. I just prefer it in the ground configuration, but also the engines being a little low to the ground. On top of that, with just a little bit of lack of detail overall. But then you have things like the Wi-Fi boxes, the antennas that look good. Not as quite as good as NG, but then still looks solid. And then tail and horizontal stabilizer areas. There is still a lot of perks to that mold. So that will do for this mold comparison, everybody. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comment section which molds you guys want to see compared. As I stated earlier, we can do different companies. We can do Gemini jets with older and newer iterations. Just please double check that I have a model with the mold in my collection, and we can definitely do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Thank you guys. Take care. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.